Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining today's lecture. In the world of research, producing high-quality work is only half the journey. The other half, equally important, is learning how to communicate that work clearly, effectively, and professionally. Today we will talk about three essential components of scientific communication. Number one, how to write an effective abstract. Number two, how to deliver a strong oral presentation. And number three, how to compile a clear professional PowerPoint. These skills are not just academic requirements, they are essential to your visibility as a researcher, your future collaborations, and even your citation impact. By the end of this session, you will understand how to prepare and present research in a way that is concise, engaging, and impactful. Let's begin with part one, writing an abstract. An abstract is a short statement that describes a longer work. Even though it is brief, it plays an outsized role in your research visibility. A strong abstract should do four essential things. The first one, it should indicate what the study is about. And number two, it should describe why the study was conducted. Number three, it should summarize how it was conducted. And lastly, it should state what was found, so the results of your study. Although the abstract appears first in the paper, it should be written last because it summarizes the entire project. We no longer walk into libraries to flip through journals physically. Today, research is found almost exclusively through online databases. PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar. These systems scan titles and abstracts to determine whether your paper matches a user's search. This means that if your abstract does not include the correct terminology, keywords, and concepts, your paper may never appear in search results, and therefore may never be read or cited. So abstracts matter for two reasons. Number one, understanding. Readers must quickly grasp what your study is about. And number two, discoverability. Search engines must be able to locate your work. Now, some authors even attempt to optimize abstracts with well-chosen keywords to improve visibility. While we don't encourage manipulation, we do encourage strategic, accurate wording. So even before the abstract, readers will see the title. A good title strikes a balance between being descriptive, engaging, clear, and keyword-rich. Now compare the following titles for a single study on caffeine and productivity, for example. So the first one is The Benefits of Drinking Caffeine at Work, a Quantitative Investigation. Too vague, right? The next one is Why Coffee Drinkers Are Happy Workers. No, a little bit unclear. The third one is Caffeine Gurus, too casual. The last one, Modern America, a quantitative report on how caffeine consumption directly impacts worker performance, is a strong title. Alright, I always say though that it would be better if the title already conveys the result, like what is shown there. Does coffee work? Caffeine enhances workplace productivity, a quantitative study. So just one look, the study, you know what the study is about, and you already have an idea what the results are. But even more than that, a strong title should convey the topic, the method, the population clearly, and usually it's better if it's under 15 words. Okay, so a high quality abstract should summarize the following: the background or motivation, the problem, the purpose of the study, the methodology, key results, and the main implications. Now, there are two common formats. First, a single paragraph, and there I show on the right, no, one of the abstracts that I wrote, no, just a single paragraph abstract. So that works in some. Now, the second is a structured abstract with headings. So this is an example of that, showing background, methods, results, conclusion in most cases, right? Now, when you write your abstracts, it's better to use the past tense. No? Okay, but regardless of format, one thing you should ask yourself is, if someone could only read this abstract, would they understand my study? And also other tips: avoid jargon if possible, and keep the language simple enough that a non-expert can follow. Now, what not to include in abstracts? Please try to avoid references, figures, tables or charts, abbreviations that are not defined, long background sections, slang, jargon, or incomplete sentences, flowery descriptions, or unnecessary adjectives. So keep it short, keep it simple, but high yield. All right. Now, how to write the abstract effectively? Most writers find it easiest to pull key sentences from each section of the paper. And then when you have them, organize them into a cohesive paragraph. And then afterwards, revise for clarity and conciseness, and then adjust the wording to meet the word limit. Now, if your abstract is too long, ask a colleague to identify anything that feels irrelevant. If it's too short, revisit your methods or findings. The best way to improve your abstract writing skills is to read abstracts in your field. So PubMed offers millions of free examples. So before concluding part 1, let us just view some examples of traditional structured abstracts that I put out with some of my fellows. And here you can just see that the many times the ones that we mostly put out are really structured abstracts. But if you look, I don't think I followed the 15-word title suggestion in this one on the right. But anyway, all right, let me also show a new type of abstract called a visual abstract that you may want to consider making. This is a concise graphic summary of a research study or article. I haven't done one yet, no, personally. However, this type of abstract uses simple visuals such as icons, charts, and brief text to highlight the key question, methods, findings, and conclusions, making the study easier and faster to understand at a glance. Now that we've discussed how to summarize research, let's move on to part 2, delivering an effective oral presentation. So a strong oral presentation is focused, concise, and engaging enough to hold the audience's attention. So to deliver one effectively, we need to consider preparation, structure, delivery, timing, and rehearsal. So first here you can see is preparation. You begin by preparing a clear outline. Very important. This keeps your talk organized and ensures you communicate your research logically. So know your audience. Are they experts in your field? Are they undergraduates? Are they clinicians looking for practical applications? Your tone, technical depth, and wording should match your audience's knowledge level. Also, understand the context of the conference or meeting. what type of talk is expected, how long should it be, what is the theme of the session. And the structure. Most strong presentations follow the same structure. Outline, the preview that you will cover. The introduction, this is where you will define the subject and explain why it matters and why they should listen to you. The main body describes the methods and the findings, while the conclusion summarizes the key points and the implications. Now, if you're presenting new research, highlight your findings clearly and briefly mention differing opinions in the field if they are relevant. Now, your slides should support your presentation, but not overwhelm it. Follow the KISS principle. Keep it short and simple. Use a clean, large sans serif font like Arial or Verdana, at least 30 points in size. Avoid paragraphs or long sentences. Use short phrases or keywords only. Alright, so remember to speak slowly, loudly, and clearly, and make eye contact. Research shows this increases audience engagement and understanding. Now, avoid reading your slides or your script. Use your slides as cues rather than a written narrative. Stand upright, gesture naturally, and face the audience, not the screen. Treat the presentation like a performance, not a theatrical one, but confident and intentional. Now, some papers say avoid jokes because they often fall flat in scientific settings. Okay, now about time management. If your session is 20 minutes, aim for 18. If you start running out of time, skip slides. Don't rush your speech. A calm, steady pace is more important than covering every detail. Now, behind every great talk is a lot of practice. Rehearse, whether alone, with colleagues, and using the actual equipment if possible. Now, practice your opening and closing lines, especially because they're what the audience remembers the most. With regard to questions, during the Q&A, stay calm and diplomatic. If you don't know the answer, say so. Honesty builds credibility, and just offer to follow up after the session. So this concludes part 2. Now let's move on to part 3. And that's compiling the PowerPoint that supports your presentation. So a PowerPoint presentation is not the presentation. It is an aid to the presentation. The best slides guide attention without overwhelming the audience. So the purpose of slides. Slides should do the following: highlight key messages, clarify complex ideas, provide visual support, make your talk easier to follow. Now, a systematic review of 91 expert articles found that the most frequent recommendation given in almost 63% of papers is, as we mentioned earlier, and see here now, keep slides simple. Now, here are the do's of effective slide design. Be brief and concise, focus on the subject, attract attention with clarity, use relevant visuals, graphs, charts, and diagrams that are applicable. Use bullet points or numbers, and make clear statements about your results. Now, the literature supports limiting the following: lines per slide, words per line, animation, and complex figures. Slides should help the audience, not confuse or distract them. Now, these are the don'ts of slide design. Don't write the whole outline of your paper. Don't use full sentences. Don't overload slides with text. Don't use distracting colors or backgrounds. Don't use overly complex charts. Don't fill slides with decorations, patterns, borders, or random pictures. All right, so we're down to the practical guidelines. No, this is, if you'll take home something, take these home. No, one suggestion is to do one slide per minute of speaking time, and use 24 to 32 point fonts for readability, although some papers say and suggest at least 30 point font, the size. And keep the sign consistent all throughout so as not to distract. And then choose high contrast colors. Avoid light text on light backgrounds or red-green combinations. And then test your equipment before the talk. Remember, if you're reading text off your slides, the slides are doing too much. Now, experts agree that presentations should end with a concise summary slide that restates the central message. This is your final impression, so keep it sharp, focused, and memorable. So to conclude, let's summarize today's lecture. Number 1, writing an abstract. Write it last. Keep it concise. Include key information and choose effective keywords. Your abstract determines whether your paper is found, read, and cited. Number 2, delivering the oral presentation. Prepare thoroughly. Structure your talk logically. Speak clearly. Keep the audience engaged. Manage your time well. And rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. Number 3, compiling the PowerPoint. Your slides, remember, are visual aids. They are not the presentation itself. So keep them simple, focused, readable, and consistent. When you combine these 3 skills, strong abstracts, effective speaking, and clear visual support, you give your research the best possible chance to form, inspire, and influence others. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, if you want to watch this lecture again, go to the Mikrobyong Maliit Mini Microbe YouTube channel by searching at Mini Microbio Books. There are other lectures there and other material on the books I have written. And if you want to dive into various Catholic topics, scripture readings, and teachings, I invite you to visit Letters of Paul to the Philippines by searching at Letters of Paul PH. Again, thank you so much.